I am a Christian. I have been a friend and follower of Jesus since before I could walk. I was born and raised a Free Will Baptist, and I spent more than a decade attending and working as a layperson in the United Methodist denomination before they were torn asunder and all but killed in this state. I also consider myself a Taoist, although I don't think I'm a very good one. That's ironic, since lots of people I know think that I'm not a very good Christian, or at least a confused Christian. One of the reasons why I think I'm a bad Taoist is that I don't let things go sometimes. If you've hurt one of my loved ones, I'm likely to hold a grudge really well, in fact. Hurting me is much easier to take and release, but a slight to my wife or my mama, or if you overlook one of my children or mistreat them, these things will keep you on my proverbial list. Donald Trump has definitely made the list. And while many of my grudges against him will die when he does, the one I'm likely to hang on to for the rest of my life is that he and many of his cronies and sycophants have been able to convince many of my friends and family and my neighbors that I don't love Jesus because I do love the LGBTQIA plus community. Or that I'm a bad or at least a confused Christian because I believe in free lunches and universal health care. Many of those same groups have also been convinced that I don't love my country or my state because I do want future generations to know the positive and the negative aspects of our cultural history. They're convinced that I don't love America because I'm unconvinced that capitalism is God's own chosen form of economic system. To be as fair as I can be to President Trump, this didn't exactly start with him. Rush Limbaugh had been stalking out the boundaries of what counted as patriotism and loyalty to one's country since the early 90s at least, and the Falwells and others like them have been doing the same thing to the bounds of what's Christian or not since the 60s. But no one ever referred to my chosen political party as demon rats, or put out reams of internet fan fiction about cabals of Democrats drinking the blood of America's young people until Donald Trump came down that golden elevator and started running for president. And let's all remember, he was slinging this sort of muck long before he ran for president. He was the one that started the birther rumor for President Obama's candidacy. The reason that this all hurts so much, it feels personal, is because I was there. I remember the early 90s when everyone I knew, everyone that I lived around, knew that Donald Trump was a lying snake, a philanderer, a business cheat who couldn't be trusted or believed on any topic. Yet these same people will throw away their trust and friendship with me to follow a man who has publicly fantasized about his own daughter, belittled his own party members' wives and family members, bragged about sexual assault and cheating his business partners, openly courted dictators around the world while blowing his nose at America's allies. And he's stationed the National Guard and the Marines in Los Angeles against the wishes and orders of California's elected governor. He also handcuffed and detained, for a short while at least, a sitting California senator who represents roughly 12% of America's population when he asked a question during a press conference. If that's not a would-be dictator, I don't know what is. President Trump and his administration are rounding up women, children, and fathers, many of whom have perfectly valid legal status in this country, and all of whom are protected from this treatment by our Constitution, which speaks of the rights not of citizens, but of persons. And he's doing all this while trying to force through one of the most damaging and dangerous budgets in American history that would not only harm and kill many Americans, but would also balloon our deficit and debt. If this guy is an antichrist, I don't know what is. So I'm mad. I'm hurt. And I'm holding a grudge. And as a good Christian and a good Taoist, I know I'm not supposed to. So here's what I'm doing. Here's what you should be doing too. I'm preparing for a peaceful show of citizen strength this Saturday as we join the No King's Day event. There are more than 1,800 events planned all across the country. So it doesn't matter where you're listening to me. If you're an American and you're in America, you have an opportunity this weekend to show your support for this citizen-created and led movement. This is all happening, by the way, on the same day that Donnie is wasting 40 million plus of our tax dollars and destroying the streets of Washington, D.C., I should add, for his unprecedented and un-American military tyrant parade. Genuinely, I want you to think about this. The last time a president federalized the National Guard against the wishes of the sitting governor of the state they'd occupy was during the Civil Rights Movement, as the president protected African Americans from their fellow citizens that were trying to attack and lynch them, all for trying to attend school. Now, Trump is doing it to protect his ICE thugs as they try to steal Los Angeles' neighbors from their homes and jobs. Meanwhile, the last time I remember a sitting head of state throwing himself a military parade for his birthday was April 20th, 1939. It was this fellow with a funny mustache named Hitler. To be fair to the Fuhrer, by the way, that was his 50th birthday that they were celebrating, and he probably didn't have to wear Depends to attend the parade. I don't think the same can be said for Donnie. In America, we don't have kings. We never have, and we never will. Our elected officials are all responsible to us, and they're answerable and governable by the law. Donald Trump has broken the law. He's torn the Constitution in sunder, and it's time that we show them, not just him, but his entire administration and the party that is backing his plays in Congress. We need to show every single one of them that the power of the people is greater than the people in power, and it always will be. Even if you're in Louisiana, there are events across the state on Saturday. I'm going to be in Ruston at 11 a.m. Central Time. If you're in this area, come join us.